Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do a fabulous smoked ham and I'll show you how it's done. So I'll be right back and we'll tell you step by step on how to do it. Alright, the ham is in the kitchen right now. I just want to come up and start my fire, get it all nice and hot and ready to go because this takes about 30 minutes just like charcoal. So I got some twigs in there, some sticks, and it's starting to flame up a little bit. We're good on wind today. It's about gust of maybe 5 to 7 miles per hour, which is perfect. If there's way too much wind, it doesn't smoke right. It just blows through and right up, and it doesn't stick to the food. So we'll get this going, and what I'm going to do next, I will show you what to do. So as you can see, I removed the top grate over here, and I'm going to be using zone 4. Now the reason is it sits down lower, and that's what I want. I want to do it to where I have lots of surface area in here for the smoke to penetrate into the ham, and I think it'll work perfect. So I'm going to get the ham started. I'll be right with you. So as I talked about before, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in here in the kitchen, and we're going to get this thing on the smoker. But first of all, we're going to preheat the oven for 350 degrees, and we're going to do that until the ham is warm. And here's the trick. So I want to take a ham that's cold and move it to the smoker, but I don't want to put it on the smoker cold. It'll cook better, it'll adjust to the smoke better if it's warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it in the oven and get it up to temp. And then I will move it out to the smoker. Okay, so I have my ham, and as you can see, the type of ham that I picked out is a ham shank or a ham portion. As you can see on the bottom of this, there's no big bone here. There is a bone inside of here, but it's not a big one. There's the shanks and then there's the butts, and this is a butt. Now you can do either or. I've done either or, and it works just as well with each other. But the thing is that I've tried to do spirals before. Number one, they're cut way too thin. Number two, I like a raw ham. I'm not a big fan of the honey ham, the honey smoked ham, none of that garbage. This is really just a straight ham that you would get for Easter. And that's what I'm doing this for. I'm going to do this in preparation of Easter, to get some practice and make sure that I've got this dialed in right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of the oven. I'm going to put it in my roaster pan here and put it in the oven for probably about 20 minutes. Now, while in that 20 minutes, my fire is still going. And so I'm going to go back and forth to make sure that my fire is still good. So at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to get this guy cooking. Okay, not necessarily cooked, because it's already cooked, but we're going to get it to where the coldness of it is gone, and then I'm going to move it out to the smoker. Again, I don't want to take a cold ham and move it out to the smoker, because then it takes that much longer for those proteins to open up to accept the smoke. I want to warm that meat up already, then add to the smoker, and it will, the pores are already open and it'll accept the smoke. Now, ham is dense. It's very, very dense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be injecting this thing as it cooks with an injector, so I can get some of that smoked flavor into that ham. And that's my purpose. Okay, so the first step is you take it out of the package. Now, I rinse this thing off super well, because I don't want all that salt and all that brine that what they use to package it. I want all that off of there as much as possible. I want to get down to the bare bones raw ham. Now, the face side is on the bottom. Well, as you can see, the face side's on the bottom, and now it's not always going to say face down. I'm going to eventually move it and turn it as the time goes on. But for right now, I want the most heat on this at once. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke it with a fork a couple times throughout this whole thing, so the heat can penetrate and to help warm this ham up, okay? Now, it doesn't matter while it's preheating if you throw it in the oven or not. It doesn't matter. All I'm trying to do is warm up this ham. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to poke it a few times with a fork, and then I'm going to throw it into the oven. Now, keep in mind, when we're doing a ham, the ham's already cooked, so we don't necessarily need a lot of heat. This is something that I can pretty much warm smoke, so I can just keep this thing barely going at temp. But I still want some good hot coals in there, so this is the second time I filled this thing with wood, and that should be enough to create some good coals. And then I will just do one piece at a time and do it slow. The ham is in the oven now. It's only been in there for about maybe 5-10 minutes. And then we're going to get this baby up to temp, and we're going to put it on the smoker. So I just added a log of oak on there, and we're going to get that cooked off. So hopefully that should be enough to where I can just add little stuff. I do need some more kindling though, so I'm going to use my kindling cracker, and you can see that on a previous video on how to use and what it is, but I will show you in this video also. So there is a rule about grilling and charcoaling and barbecuing. You gotta have a good beer to go with it. So I grabbed one of my favorite IPA beers. Okay, so at this point I got the lid shut. I got that lid shut. I am reading right under 350 degrees, which is okay. But like I said before, the ham is already cooked, so I don't need to cook the darn thing. All I got to do is smoke it. So I got a nice piece of oak in there. It's burning nicely. It's burning clean. It's perfect what I want. It is a little bit windy today, so I shut the lid so it doesn't burn the fuel in the wood as much as possible. I want it a nice simmer burn, kind of like you do in a wood stove. So it's burning nicely. With my vents are open to where it gets nice and good airflow, so you can see the flame inside of there. It's got a nice bottom draft, and my upper draft is it's open just a crack. And like I said, I'm right at 350, which is exactly what the ham is in the oven, and I've got maybe another 5 to 10 minutes to go. On that note, Ollie over here is wanting me to play frisbee again. As you guys all know, Ollie. So I'm going to take the frisbee again, and I'm going to throw it for her, and she catches it. She's such a good dog. And let me tell you, this Border Collie does not like birds, doesn't like moles, hates squirrels, hates them. She'll climb a darn tree just to get to a squirrel. But anyway, yeah, so we're doing good so far. And that piece of wood in there, man, it smells so good today. And there's Buster. He is just chilling out and getting some sun. That's what it's all about, isn't it, Buster? Huh? That's what it's all about, is getting some sun. So when you do firewood, you always want to stack it. We'll have a little conversation with this later, but stacking it, what it does is it helps dries everything. If you have it in a pile, the wood doesn't dry properly, because if it's sitting on the ground, it soaks up like a sponge, and it'll soak up the water. Where if you stack it, you'll get nice end pieces, nice end dry pieces like this. See how dry that is? That's a nice dry piece there. But you still want to moisture meter it to make sure that it's dry and to the level that you want. So all this is a 2 by, or maybe, no, I'm sorry, it's a 3 by 10, I believe, wood crib, and I just built it with 2x4s and reinforce it. And I also have a ledge over top of there, so you could put smaller pieces and keep them separate. But you always want to stack your wood. The sun can hit it, the wind can get underneath it, it can help dry your wood, and it's ready to go. You never ever want to pile it. Okay, I just probed the ham, and now it's only reading like 58, 59 degrees, so I'm going to leave it in there just a little bit longer. Let's get it up to temperature, and then we're going to throw it on the smoker. But it's not quite where I want it to be yet. I want it to be at about 70 degrees internal temperature. That way it can start the cooking process and the smoking process. So I will let you know when that becomes available, and that should only take another maybe, I don't know, 10 minutes. Okay, so this is my injector. It's called X-Chef, and it's stainless steel, and it's rated one of the best injectors you can get. Now, I picked this up at Amazon. I think it was like $30. I've tried those other ones before, and they break on you. This is heavy duty. It is super great for hams like this if you want flavors. It comes with 3 different attachments to where you can put it on, and it's going to be hard for me to show you how to do it. But basically, what I like to do is put something in a cup like this, like apple juice, or pineapple juice or something like that, which I'll be adding both, and a little bit of brown sugar to my ham, and inject it. You can do small bits of garlic. You can, and there's other attachments here. Like I said, there's 2 other small attachments where you can shove in some garlic or some butter. If you want to keep your ham or whatever protein you're doing moist, you can use it, and it works really, really well. Personally, I like this one because it has the holes, and it literally goes into the meat in different directions, and you can inject moisture. Now, once you have juice inside of your ham, which I'll show you later on, you could take that smoke flavor from that juice and inject it back into your ham. And that's where you get a lot of smoke flavor from, because ham is super hard to penetrate the smoke inside that ham. So what you do is you use an injector, and it'll get that smoke. If you gather the juices and you shove it back in your ham, and it works marvelously. So I injected some water into here, and just to demonstrate what this thing is going to do and what it's capable of. But you put it in a cup, and then you syringe it in. And then I'll try to demonstrate here how the water comes out in different directions. And that's what's cool about this injector. It goes out in different directions, and you can fill your meat with all these holes in this one thing. Alright, so my ham is nice and warm now. So what I did was I added a little bit of apple juice to the bottom for right now. And I also filled the cup full of apple juice. So I can suck some of that apple juice up and start injecting my ham to keep that going strong. And like I've showed in previous videos, what I do is I vent it just a little bit on top here, so the smoke can go inside the roaster pan here and get a good smoke. Okay, so now we're ready to go. We got the foil ready to go. We got my fire going. I have my piece where I can get some plenty of smoke in there, and that's exactly what I want. And we're good to go. So now comes the smoking process. So yeah, now it's just a waiting game. Just maintaining the heat, which I really don't have a whole lot to do there, because we're not really cooking the ham. We are smoking the ham. So it doesn't have to be at a high temperature. All I need is a good flame to create smoke to get flavor. That's what we're wanting. It's a beautiful day out here today. I think it's like 62 degrees, 63 degrees and sunny. Dogs are out here having fun. Can't get better than that. Well, I could have another 6-pack of beer, but yeah, can't get any better. So this will probably be on here for about 6 hours or so. Like I said, it's a beautiful day out here, and there's Buster just laying and chilling in the sun. And there's Ollie She runs so fast I can't keep up with her. Thank you, Ollie. I appreciate that. So there's Ollie again. And she is looking at my smoker because the smoker looks good, but she really wants me to throw her frisbee, as you can tell. So she goes out. I know I show a lot of videos on Ollie. But yeah, so the cook is about, right now, 2 hours, give or take. And we're just sitting here chilling on this beautiful, nice day outside. Put some nice aroma in the air. Getting all the neighbors hungry. But yeah, we got a long way to go. And that's the thing about smoking. It takes forever. But it's worth it at the end. So yeah, I apologize I didn't take you all the way through the whole smoking process of the ham. Basically, I just left it in there. When I got to the point where it was up to the 5 hour mark, what I did was I took it and I took it back in the kitchen. And then what I did was I carved the ham, took the bone out, and I plan on putting it back on the smoker for another couple hours inside the pan, add a little bit more apple juice. And it depends on your apple juice and how sweet it is. You can get good apple juices to where they're super sweet, and you can get some watered down apple juice. So try your apple juice and your pineapple juice and see how sweet it is. And it depends on your palate too. If it's super sweet, water the apple juice down. It's that simple. But what I did was I quartered the ham into thirds, and then I took a carving knife and I trimmed it, kind of like how you would trim a watermelon, just in really thin slices. What I mean by that is, like, you take your knife and you decore the watermelon off the rind. It's exactly what I did. I just cut it really slow, low, thin pieces to put it on sandwiches, and man, it is perfect. It's perfect, I'm telling you. So really, there's not much to it. I mean, you want to get, the main trick is you want to get that ham up to temperature before you put it on your smoker. It speeds up that process. And that's all I got to say today. Y'all have a good day. Thank you again for all the armed services out there, the Marines, the Army. I couldn't name everybody. National Guard, you guys are the best in the world at what you do. And we give you all the love and support that you guys need every single day. And thanks again for watching. And I hope to see you on the next smoking video. Have a good day. Hey guys, one more note that I thought of just a second ago. One of the reasons why I like to trim everything off the bone is because what you're doing is you're smoking meat, okay? So the more surface area you can get on that protein for the smoke to adhere to, the better. If it's one solid piece, it does not want to penetrate inside that protein. But once you cut it up and you trim it to where it lays flat like in this picture, more smoke will grab onto that protein and make it more smoky. So that's one of the reasons why you want to cut it up into smaller pieces, not only for sandwiches, but for that smoke to grab onto that protein, huh? So, and it does work. It's very helpful. I've done it both ways, and I was very disappointed that I took all that time and left it one solid hunk of ham, and it didn't penetrate that ham. If you cut it up into smaller pieces, put it back in your pan with that apple juice, let it soak in that apple juice. And one more note that I wanted to add to, when you leave it in the juices, in that smoke flavored juice, that protein will soak up that smoke flavor inside that juice. and it will add more flavor. So what I'm suggesting is smoke your ham, smoke whatever protein you're going to do, and whatever juice is in that pan with your protein to keep it moist. If you let it sit there overnight in the fridge and come back to it the next day, oh my God, huge difference between the day of smoke and the next day. Big difference. So that is another good secret that I wanted to tell you guys up front. So today the ham was amazing. I didn't even have to put it on anymore. It's hard to tell when I call it your smoke blind, because you smell that smoke as it's cooking, and you taste it and you go, there's not a whole lot of smoke in there. Wait for the next day, because it probably adds 3 times smoke during overnight hours and to the next day. So that's another good tip. Thanks for watching.